Welcome back to Wrecked Roulette, where the name of the game is that our audience has to guess whether we're drunk, sober, or high. Tonight's guest is a friend, former bandmate of mine, and talented musician, Carlos Gonzalez-Lopez. I just wanted to take a moment to remind you all to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This will help build our brand, which helps each and every one of our talented guests gain exposure. We will also be reading any 5-star reviews you guys give on Spotify and iTunes out loud on the podcast and give you a shout out. Let's start the podcast. Welcome back to Wrecked Roulette, where the name of the game is that our audience has to guess whether we're drunk, sober, or high. Tonight's guest is a friend, former bandmate of mine, and talented musician, Carlos Gonzalez-Lopez. I just wanted to take a moment to remind you all to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. This will help build our brand, which helps each and every one of our talented guests gain exposure. We will also be reading any 5-star reviews you guys give on Spotify and iTunes out loud on the podcast and give you a shout out. Let's start the podcast. There we go.
There.
Okay.
Now I see it.
Yeah, I just didn't record it to the right place. Welcome to Wrecked Roulette. The name of the game is that our audience has to guess whether we're sober or drunk. Tonight's guest is friend, former bandmate, and very talented musician who has some very exciting news. Carlos Gonzalez-Lopez.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
So tell
Nice
us what you're working on. It's super exciting.
Yeah, so with everything going on in the world, I needed to find, some ways to keep myself busy in the music world and, not just kind of like isolate myself in, 4 walls playing the same, bass lines over and over again. So,
Yeah.
because gigging is kind of a thing of the past these days, I didn't really want to work with other bands or any other,
Yeah, Carlos is a very talented bassist.
yeah, and
Still is,
I will certainly talk about all of that soon.
Yeah.
But
I like the hair flick. That was excellent.
No big deal.
yeah, so I have 2 very obvious passions in my life. One is video games, and the other one is music. Both of which gotten me through like crazy times in my life, and so I decided, I'm like, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time I kind of explore that industry, right? Like I've worked with jazz artists, I've worked with metal, I've worked in like just general indie music too, and none of them really kind of do it for me, right? So I reached out to a few indie game developer forums, and I said, hey, listen, name is Carlos, I play bass and piano, etc., etc. I'd be willing to take a look at any of your games to see if we can work something out, and we can help each other out. So I figure, I'm like, because I have no notoriety or no like international reputation, I figured I'd get like maybe 1 or 2 inquiries from like really low tier stuff, but whatever. So that night I went to bed, and then the next day my phone had issues turning on or staying on because of the amount of response that I was getting.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
My phone crashed about like 2 or 3 times because it kept it was freaking out with all the fucking notifications. And
it should be, because I'm sure like your work and your portfolio is amazing.
How many places did you apply to?
I only posted on two forums.
Okay.
And that was it. Like I don't know anybody in these forums. I just figured I'd throw my name in the hat, right?
And did you put up like links to your music or?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So a number of these so anyway, when I finally was able to turn on my phone, a lot of these people were like immediately interested and immediately sending me like full length scores and things like that. And so I had eventually sent them links to my Instagram or links to previous bands that I'd worked with, so they have a better idea of what what I would offer to begin with, right?
Yeah.
But the immediate response was just like this crazy untapped market that I should have been into a long time ago. But yeah, so now like I have at least maybe about 50 to 70 indie game developers that are really interested in working with me, and either making promotional videos for songs that are already written, or creating brand new tracks for the type of thing that they're trying to make. So yeah, it's really exciting times.
That's
wow.
awesome.
That's so cool.
I didn't know that there was such a demand for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because indie game developers, they're great at what they do. The coding process is insane. You need like 30 brains in order to understand that shit, right? But when it comes to the visuals or the music or to choreography or even like dialogue scripting, that takes a certain niche market to kind of outsource, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been heavily going into that, and it's been a very, very busy time.
Is there any particular projects you're allowed to mention at this time?
Yes. So for
Woohoo!
now,
All right.
one that I have completed, and this was I think late last year that I completed. It was for a game called Time Lie, and basically it's a strategy game where you can go back in time to reverse certain steps that you made in order to move forward again and progress based on the manipulation of whatever you're doing, right?
That sounds really cool.
It's fucking great. And you would think that these indie games are just like kind of like low quality, not great, right? But they're amazing. They're so good. Like the visuals are great, the gameplay is great, and the overall feel is really nice too. And
what platforms is that one out on?
That one is on Steam. It released
Okay.
like last June, I think. Time Light. Go check it out. It's a fantastic game, and the score is
I actually
beautiful
will.
as well. It's really really nice.
That's why I'm asking, so I can write it down and go check it out.
It's a really really beautiful game too. I was so happy when they were so cooperative, and they're like, yes, make sure you tag us at everything. Like we want to see it all. We want to put your name out there too, and it was very nice. I made a lot of friends with that project.
That sounds great.
There's a few more that I'm currently working on right now. I can't say them, but I hopefully in the next month or so I'll be able to pump out more and more completed projects so everyone can stay up to date on it.
Awesome.
That's amazing. So you said you play bass and piano?
Yeah, so like most Latin American kids, I was thrown into piano at a very young age because my parents are just like, yeah, no, you're going to be a doctor and you're going to learn how to play piano, right? So
yeah.
How's that going?
Great. So, yeah, I hated piano when I was a kid because like it's one of those things where it's like it's not about the sound of music. It's more about like being locked in a room for 2.5 hours every single day, right?
Get that muscle memory, child.
It was awful. I hated it, right? I hated it. So
God.
I like excommunicated music out of my life entirely. And then when I reached high school, I met some musicians that didn't hate music. And I'm like, oh wow, that exists. So there
Hold on a second.
Yeah, there was this kid, whatever. His name was Adam. Very, very, very amazing bass player for his age, and I mean, he was kind of beyond his years, right?
Does he suck now?
No, I'm sure he's like even more amazing now, right? Like, but yeah, like it was really inspiring to see someone my age that could play really, really well, right? And I was a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, I still am. And it was ultra inspiring. I like begged my parents, I'm like, please help me get a bass because I really, really want to play. And the fact that I'm inspired by someone my age was kind of a big deal too. So I played. I got a shitty little Fender Squire. It lasted me for I don't even know how many years, right? And I eventually moved up, and now I play 5-string basses, and opening for international bands. I feel so accomplished.
Now, if you knew that the whole video game composing like would have worked out right away, would you have gone through bands and everything?
That's kind of tricky. See, here's the thing. There's beauty in failure, right? So
well, then in that case, I'm really beautiful all the time.
I mean, that's why we're here, right? Like, so like, if I don't fail now, I'm probably gonna fail later, right? So it's better that I learn the lesson now than many years down the line when I have much more to lose. So I'm very happy with the direction that I went. Yeah, things could have been better, right? But I mean, I have made an enormous amount of friends, an enormous amount of connections, and yeah, there's an aspect to bands that is insufferable, but there's also that camaraderie that you just can't get anywhere else, and it's great. I really, part of me really misses bands, but part of me is like, now I'm prepared and educated enough to go in the direction that I really want to go in.
Now, you and I were in a band,
That's right.
so I can attest to how fun you are in bands.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell us about it, guys. Tell us about the band.
Yeah, it didn't take off so much. We had trouble finding a drummer for the longest time, and they would come and go.
That's right. And many of the drummers that we had were actually quite good, right? Geez, I can't remember his name. He's going to kill me, but he was fantastic. But a lot of people have the desire to be in bands, but they don't fully appreciate the amount of work that goes into it, right?
Yeah, totally.
And that goes for everyone, whether you're a singer, a bassist, a guitarist, a pianist, whatever, right? Like it takes a lot of work and a lot of like real sacrifice in order to make this contraption fly. And if you can have all a completely star-studded lineup of like AAA musicians, but if they're not if they're not all pulling their weight, then it's not going to fly.
Yeah, you can't just show up for practice and just be like, oh yeah, I didn't practice at all last week, so we're on the exact same level as we were last week.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a very common misconception that practice is where you go to practice. No, like that's why we don't.
That's to practice together.
Like we don't. That's why I make it a point not to call it practice. I call it rehearsals, right?
Rehearsal, jam.
Yeah, exactly. You have your jam sessions, your rehearsal sessions, things like that. I try my best to be like, make sure you practice because we have rehearsal on this day, right? Like as an actor, you don't go, to a rehearsal not reading the script, right? Or like reading the script
on lines.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really counterproductive. And Deborah and I have been doing this shit for a long time, right? And imagine our frustration. And like, I don't want to be a parent, right? I don't want to be the dad of the band. I just want to make some some badass music and get out there. But it didn't shake out, even though the few songs that we wrote were actually quite good. And but
I've actually pulled some lyrics from some of those songs for the current band that I'm in.
Nice.
We have a song called "Abandon the Sun." It's kind of like a little tribute to you guys because that was our band name.
Yeah, "Abandon the Sun" was a really nice time. Like working with Ellen and Eric was very great. Both stellar musicians in their own right, and of course, having Deborah on vocals is not. You can't buy that kind of talent. So I'm glad that you're still active out in the music world too, and I can't wait to see what else you guys pump out.
Yes, we're very excited because we're releasing an EP soon.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, so very excited about that.
Very few times I've had the opportunity to actually get into a formal recording studio. So whenever that happens, it's a very exciting time.
So yeah, we have a few games that we like to play with all of our guests, just to kind of help us loosen up and to help us get to know you very personally.
Ooh, we're digging deep now.
So which one should we start with? We really like Monkey's Paw.
Yeah.
Where
Monkey Paw?
Yes, like on The Simpsons where they get the monkey's paw.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they always
fuck up the wish.
Something happens to the wish that just ruins it.
That's
so you have 3 wishes, and we're going to just essentially ruin them.
Wonderful.
So begin, make a wish.
Okay.
Courtney, do you want to start this time? Because I started last time.
We're just not going to pick on him for all 3 questions?
No, I mean.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
to
no, I mean,
ruin it. To ruin it. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
to ruin it.
Yes, I would like to ruin your life. Let's go.
Ruin it first.
Sure. I wish I had my own personal recording studio.
Okay. Yep, and it's state of the art. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
But the electrical goes out at the weirdest times and everything's off pitch.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It really sucks.
I can't even get a generator. Like,
Well, you could, but
but
it's
yeah,
still gonna-
even the
yeah.
generator's a little, like.
Okay.
All right, next. Ask
wait.
your next wish.
Here's the way I would ruin it.
Mm.
So it's amazing,
Mhm.
but it's in Nunavut.
Oh shit. Oh.
So it's expensive to get up there, and it's
Oof.
expensive to
Go to it.
Yeah,
food.
it's like great. You have a recording studio in the middle of the ocean.
Exactly.
State of the art, man. You're gonna love it. Like,
You have to fly a helicopter to get to it.
yeah, you gotta chopper in. Oh my god, no, that'd be awful.
Okay, second wish.
I wish I could have a music school.
Deb, you first.
Okay, but the music school is in a language, the hardest language to learn. Okay, let's say it's
Klingon.
It's Klingon. I knew I'd be teaching a bunch of nerds.
It's a Sweden and everybody hates music.
Oh god.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna ruin it in that very busy. You get a lot of customers,
Mhm.
but they're all like grade 3 and under, and basically all you're able to teach is like kazoos and tangerines.
Oh, and the
God.
Or
recorder.
tambourines.
Oh no.
Not even recorders, like just things to bang on.
Tambourines.
You know what's
I
really
said tangerines.
Yeah, a bunch of tangerines.
Smash.
Here you go, kids. Yeah,
Um,
it's funny you mentioned the recorder. I bought a tenor recorder mid last year, and it's surprisingly hard to play.
Nice.
So I
Is
shout out
it
to
nearby?
Woodwinds.
You should probably grab it. You should probably play it for us.
I won't play it, but
3 what is it called? Cross buns or
3 hot
cross buns.
hot cross buns,
yeah.
or 3 blind mice.
Woo!
So this is it right here. It's a Yamaha tenor recorder. I'll put it away because Piccolo hates it, and he'll
Sorry,
listen.
is that
already?
Is that a bird?
But that is my parrot, of which
Oh my god.
I have disturbed his slumber.
Can we
He
get a
picked
little
up the recorder and he's like,
you-
can we get a little parrot
No, I don't
tax
want
here?
it. Piccolo, do you want to come say it? No, he has his ball. He is not interested in me right now. The beauty about parrots is that like they're not like dogs, and it's just like, hey, Rover, come over, right? Like with him, he's just like, I'll come to you when I'm ready. Like,
Just kind of like a cat.
yeah, they're a
Okay.
lot. They're a lot like cats. They're like, I will come to you when I need something. Otherwise, stay on your side, roommate.
Oh my
Roommate.
god.
Yeah.
What kind of parrot is he?
He is a Quaker parrot. He's
Likes oatmeal?
oh god, I would not. He's 13 years old now, so yeah,
So
we
he's
got
like-
him.
Oh man.
He's like through the baby age now. He's a
Yeah,
child.
He doesn't have his baby eyes or baby beak anymore. He's like an
Aw.
old man now.
Aw.
Like,
'Cause how long do they live? Those ones?
these parrots in domestic settings, maybe around like 20-ish years, around there.
Oh, that's
max.
not bad. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, yeah, it's really.
I thought
really
it was
good.
gonna be longer.
Yeah. But I take very, very good care of him, so I expect him to hopefully reach much longer than that. He gets pampered.
Why'd you name him Piccolo?
Because of the way he sounded when he was a baby, his little chirps, they sounded like a piccolo.
Okay.
And that's why we named it. It's I get it every time. Everybody's like, "Oh, you named him after the green Dragon Ball Z character." I'm like, "No, one, I hate that show, and two, no." Like, sorry to all DBZ fans out there.
Oh my god.
Lost 40 viewers already.
Yeah. Negative. We're now at -40.
Man.
Great.
Just starting to get famous with our
Fucking up already.
subscribers.
Yeah.
By the way,
Alright.
I will take this time to ask you to please like and subscribe. I will mention it frequently.
Absolutely.
We're trying to build our brand and we want to help support bands, especially local musicians. So the more people we have subscribed, the better.
Absolutely.
All right, you
Yeah.
have one wish left.
All right. Here we go.
I wish I had an aviary.
Aviary.
That was going to be my first wish, but then I'm like,
I'm gonna
"Okay, I'll
ruin
save
it.
that."
Ready?
Oh god.
Yes, you have an aviary, and again, it's big, it's beautiful. You've got all the funding you need, and it's only seagulls.
I'm fine with that.
I was gonna
Because
say it's only pigeons with diarrhea.
that'd be worse. Significantly worse. Fun fact. I like seagulls, right? I hate pigeons. Pigeons are like they're rats with wings, and yeah, they're not great. Yeah, no.
I like rats. I
But
don't
with
like
wings?
pigeons.
But with
Well-
wings.
I'm fine with all the birds, but
All-
the diarrhea, I don't know.
Pigeons with
A lot
diarrhea.
of poop.
Well, then again, a
Bird-
seagull with diarrhea is just as bad.
Bird poop
So
is pretty gross. I used to work with birds, and we used to have to clean out because we had bird boxes where they'd make their nests. So
Why
we'd have
did
to
you
clean
work with birds? And how? What?
it. Because I liked
how do
ornithology.
you not
and
know this? Like,
I like ornithology and I love birds, and I
Mhm.
just decided to volunteer at for a couple summers at some ornithology labs. So
Oh,
one of
okay.
their
That's
jobs
awesome.
at one of the places was to clean out tree swallow nests
Mm.
out of the bird boxes, and God, did those smell!
yep.
Oh, I can
Yep.
still smell it. Like I can remember the smell. It's
Yeah,
maybe
it's
forever.
like
What are they
so-
made out of?
It's so like chemically, it's kind of gross.
It was
Yeah.
made of like twigs and stuff, so like normal nests.
Mhm.
But yeah, after a while, like after the eggs hatch and all the poo and everything settles, it's kind of yeah.
That was actually one of the early stages of my bonding with Deb when I first met her.
Mhm.
Was music, and she liked birds, and I'm like, oh my god, people like you exist. Like someone that's not someone that's not like absolutely terrified of birds. Like everyone that I tell that I have a parrot, they're like, oh my god, like they're just terrified of it. If I ever bring someone over, they're like, I'm like, no.
Why?
I don't know.
Aw, your poor
I
ferret.
I remember this one time I brought a girl over, and I was expecting, her to fall in love with Piccolo, and she was terrified when she saw him flying. She's like, "Oh my god, he can fly!" And I'm like,
It's a bird.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's what
They-
birds do.
they have look at the wings, like they're there.
I've been bitten by birds, pecked by woodpeckers.
Oh yeah, that's a bad
ooh,
one.
ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lincoln sparrows love to chomp.
Yeah.
Love to chomp.
Fun
So,
fact: birds are assholes.
you know,
Straight across the board, all of them. There is
yeah,
not.
we were talking about cats that eat birds, and then one of my friends brought up the fact that chipmunks will eat birds
What?
as well.
What? I know
and-
crows will eat baby birds.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
chipmunks?
and like hawks and stuff like that will eat birds, but
Chipmunks.
also red squirrels. I've witnessed a red squirrel killing a bird when we were at the ornithology labs, because we would set up these big mist nets, is what they were called.
Hmm.
So they were made of thin material, so the birds couldn't really see, and they
Mhm.
fly
Okay.
into them, get stuck, and then we grab them, band them, and then set them free.
Yeah.
A couple of them got
Damn.
eaten by squirrels. Yeah, so
Ooh, damn.
Yeah,
squirrels.
gory. Yeah.
Squirrels don't fuck around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nature, you scary.
they're little assholes. I know, right? I had no idea until I was.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
like same thing with ducks too. I'm like, wow, like
Ow.
I want a duck, like they're so cute and soft, and then I realized that they're awful creatures and that no one should own them.
Yeah.
But the cat just decided to like yank on the cord and pull my whole headset down.
I
I guess
require
maybe
attention.
Maybe he's mad that we're talking about birds and squirrels. and
Yeah,
shit.
he's like, you're talking about birds, but I
Did
don't
you
see one
not?
on my plate. Like,
Oh man.
All right, so we have done that.
Yes.
I wanted to talk to you about what you were mentioning about performance anxiety.
Oh yeah.
So is that so when you can't get it up,
Wait, like
are you talking stage stuff?
Luckily, I haven't had that issue. However, the thing with performance anxiety when it comes to like actual like stage fright, um, I find that a lot of people have that issue
Mhm,
because they shy away from any type of social interaction, right? Like
mhm,
when people are very introverted and they don't have the opportunity to expose themselves to uncomfortable situations. And then, when you're a musician, you're like, all right, I'm gonna play guitar or like, I'm gonna play drums or whatever, I'm
mhm.
gonna sing. And then when you notice that you're like, oh shit, it's wait, I'm gonna have to do it in front of people. It's like, well, yeah, right. And
Yeah.
then they lose their shit, right?
Mhm,
So this has been a very, very common uh, issue that I've seen in a lot of university students and a lot of music students in general, is that they have innate skill. They do have a lot of musical education and a lot of actual practical skills, but when there's a camera in front of them or when there's a person in the room or someone, if their amplifier is just too loud and someone else in another area can hear them, they
mhm,
they lose it, right?
mhm.
And one of the things that I say to them is just like, play and fuck the entire thing up. Do it. Just keep the camera rolling, have someone in the room, play horribly, and just keep doing it until you're desensitized to it. And
Yeah.
I know that sounds really, really like counterproductive and like kind of just, well, if I already have anxiety, how am I going to play better or whatever, right? It's just to trust me. Like, if you are living in front of a camera or a stage or an audience or anything like that, eventually it's not going to matter anymore because it's going to feel the same as playing anywhere else,
it's
right?
like it's almost like exposure therapy. Like
Mhm. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
stand here
exactly.
and do your worst so
Yep.
and people can hear you.
Yep.
Like do that until that it doesn't bother you that you're doing your worst.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and we're
Okay.
still gaining our wings with the podcast, getting
yep.
comfortable with doing it. So it's the same sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
we're, being exposed to even potentially more than an event you could hold when we post it online
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah,
point.
exactly. And
Yeah.
and there's a lot of learning in that too,
Mhm,
right?
Mhm.
The beauty about, you know, these types of arts is that you can review your work after, right?
mhm,
Not a lot of people do that. And when when you know you already screwed up, that's fine, right?
mhm.
But how about when you feel like you did a good job? You do it over again and again and again and again, and you
Yeah.
listen to it again. You're like, I did that one fine the first time, but the second time I was a little too fast. I was rushing or I was dragging or like I went off there, whatever, right? And that really changes you as a musician. And that's one of the things that I had picked up from a lot of mentors that I've had in bass playing over the last few years.
Mhm. And what's key too is to play to empty rooms as if it were, you know, a giant hall full of people,
Absolutely.
because then you can just play your heart out to no one, and that's like such great practice. You can be like, next
Absolutely.
time it's gonna sound like that, but we're gonna be in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's a very powerful feeling, having the liberty to perform as if it's your last show, right? Even
Yeah,
if there's like, just your mom in the audience or something, right?
yeah.
It's really, really important that this is taught to students, because if it's not, that's fine. They can have all the theoretical knowledge in the world, but if they're not a performer, a lot of doors are instantly closed to them.
Mhm. Mhm. Makes sense.
What's the worst instance of stage fright or performance anxiety that you've A experienced or B seen?
Hmm. Um,
Both of
I
you. Both of you.
s- Deb, I'll let you go first.
Oh, geez. I don't know like if I've seen a lot of performance anxiety. I've experienced it mostly when like if I'm in a cafe or something singing some indie stuff, and there aren't many people in there, and like sometimes people like will put on their headphones or something. Because like I get it now. Like not everyone wants to listen to like folk musician. They can't concentrate. But that was probably the worst time. It just felt so like I want to get out of here kind of feeling. Yeah. It wasn't so much like clammed up, but I just like, I don't want to be here. Like no one's listening. This sucks. Everybody hates me.
Oh my God. I know this is really kind of terrible, but can we turn that into one of your skits for This Is Deb? Like somebody up there playing and then just all the stuff that people do and like the ear like look over and then put the earphones on.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
That would cut close.
That.
Yeah.
So far my my cast is limited. Mostly me. So
wait, your dog too though.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The wolf from your camping video. You're like,
oh,
wolf,
wildlife. Oh my goodness, I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, I once saw an artist. She was a singer-songwriter, and it was basically an open mic night, right? It was nothing very. To me, it wasn't a big deal, right? It was a very low-key, casual thing. You know, there was a moderate amount of people in the place, but it wasn't like a packed house or anything, right? Most people hardly pay attention to open mic nights because they're getting really hammered with their friends, right? So she got on and she maybe got through the first song before she started, you know, tearing up and she started getting very flush. And I think it was the second song that she just stopped playing. She like threw her guitar on the ground and she just just broke down on the stool. And
she's expecting a bigger response, maybe.
She was expecting people to notice her, right? Or maybe
that's one way to do it.
Well, yeah, right. But like, you know, I understand. I get it that you go to perform because you want to perform for someone. But I think there's a lot of performance stuff that a lot of people just don't get, right? You don't get an audience just because you're a musician. You don't get free stuff because you're a musician. You just you have to work for it. And sometimes, you can play for a full house, but doesn't mean anyone's listening to you, right?
Yeah.
And you know, it does. I don't know if that's like performance anxiety or stage fright or anything like that. But it was certainly one of the things that kind of stuck in my mind. And this happened like more than 10 years ago, right? But it's still like, damn, like that really did go down, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
I bet she thinks about it a lot too.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned specifically like you found a lot of younger people and students and stuff deal with this performance anxiety. And I seem to recall you're doing some sort of work with some university kids like on their projects.
Yeah, so right now there's a small group of musicians that just needed someone to kind of write the bass lines for their music exams, which is not cheating. Okay, it's not cheating. It's they are evaluated on their performance. Mine is just the accompaniment, right? But there is another group of students from Metalworks that they asked me to help them write some bass lines for some future performances that they want to look forward to. And a lot of apparently it's very hard to find bass players these days.
More so than drummers?
No, I would never say that. Drummers are like ultra rare, but yeah, apparently competent bassists are very hard to find these days.
Really?
But yeah, anyway, they asked me to help them out, and it's been very nice working with you know, up and coming music students. It's pretty cool because, you know, the majority of the people that I'm exposed to are just, you know, they're already proven musicians, right? They don't necessarily need guidance or anything. But it's nice seeing a new batch of musicians come out and, you know, what their, you know, hopes and dreams are and all that kind of stuff, and me just kind of like cynically laughing in the background, be like, haha.
So do you find like you're able to make an impact on them in
Oh
terms of
yeah.
lessening their performance anxiety stuff?
Yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely. And you know what it is? It comes down to a lot of like genuine connection with students and just being like, yeah, I remember when I went through that shit too. It
Mhm.
sucks. It's awful. And you know how you do it? This, right? And yes, this sucks, but that's your answer. Do you want to solve it or not? And it honestly comes down to how important is it to you, right?
Mhm.
Is it something you want to make an actual career out of, or is it something that you just kind of want to do for fun? Either way, you still got to get over it, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's a lot of students, they want to be like the greats, they want to be like Hendrix, or they want to be like, whatever, right? But at over so many years of doing this, there is no way you can copy another musician. There is no way you can copy another artist, because eventually you'll either become like, one of those like cover artists that only like covers a specific person,
Mhm.
um, or you'll just get bored, right?
Yeah.
And that's not fun. Like eventually you're gonna have to find your own sound and your own emotional connection with what you're writing and how you're writing. There's a band called the Omnific. They're Australian duo bass sensation, I would call them, right?
Cool.
And
Yes, hands.
they are fucking incredible. I love them. I have nothing but good things to say about them.
Mm.
And Toby, one of their bass players, was mentoring me for almost a year actually. He completely changed my approach to bass, and I don't even play bass the same way I used to. Like before it was simple, like 1 to 2 finger plucking, and now I use like almost every single finger. And it's amazing how some genuine connection will make a difference. And if
Mhm.
that can work with me at 30, then I'm sure I could have the same positive impact on kids that are in their 20, 22, 24 kind of range, right? So yeah,
Nice.
I feel like I certainly can make a difference.
Cool.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
So
We're
wholesome,
gonna
I know.
play just like one more game, and then
Hmm.
we'll talk a little bit more.
Sure.
I want to know a little bit about Carlos by
Yeah.
asking you. We're gonna do 2 truths and a lie. So tell us two
Mm,
truths about yourself, and then make it one. And we're gonna try to guess.
okay. Um, I have performed at the Kingsfield stage in Wonderland.
Hmm?
I have uh, I have recorded the album for a Juno-winning jazz artist. I have I have gone to Nicaragua, where my family's from, for
Oh,
vacation.
okay. Let's see. Mm.
I'm gonna guess Wonderland is the lie.
Yeah, me too.
False.
Damn.
Which one is the lie? Which
Ooh.
one is the lie?
Going to Nicaragua. I
Oh,
have,
really?
yeah,
Okay.
I've never actually left the country before.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm not much of a traveler. I like my parents don't travel a lot, therefore I've never really had that kind of desire to be like, oh God, I want to go to like Switzerland or whatever, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I played at Wonderland twice. Um, well, more accurately, I performed at Wonderland for a jazz ensemble at Kingsfield. I think it's called
Cool.
King
Kingswood,
Kingswood, yeah.
whatever.
Mm.
And the second time, I was doing audio work for it's a performance called Dancing to the 50s or 60s or something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a short gig, but yeah, a gigantic stage, huge, one of the biggest stages I've ever played. And yeah, like seeing a full packed audience of a seated, like, I think it was, I don't even know how many people that place seats, but it's huge, right?
Yeah, it's
And
very big.
they're like, yeah, so great job, guys. We'll see you back in like 45 minutes for your next performance. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Awesome.
How many
yeah.
performances a night?
4, I think it
Oh
was. Yeah,
damn.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. It's
Okay.
a lot. And I wasn't playing bass at the time. I was playing trumpet.
Were you dead after each night?
Yeah, yeah.
Were your
My
lips numb?
my lips, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Like my,
Oh, no.
yeah,
Yeah.
my lips were numb, man. Holy shit. I could have made all kinds of careers after that. But
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
But yeah, no, and recording for the Juno artist is her name is Sophie Millman. She is not only exceedingly skilled as a jazz singer, but she's also extremely hot. So when she came into the studio, I'm like, oh my god, like this, I'm like, thank you, God, this blessing.
Yeah.
I was only like 19 at the time. I think I
Oh,
was
okay.
working at a radio station, right? And I think it was just convenient for them to record it there.
Mhm.
But I realized why every other audio engineer and audio technician didn't want to do the job is because jazz agents are assholes, which I learned firsthand.
Oh,
And
really?
they're like, "Well, where's the tech?" I'm like, "Hi, I'm right here, right?" Like 18-year-old
Yeah.
Carlos. And they're like, "No, like really, where's the tech?" And I'm like, "That's me. What the hell?" So the guy freaked out. He's like, "This is shit," and blah 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 blah, right?
Mhm.
Eventually, Sophie was so sweet. She, talked to him and she's like, "Okay, let's just do this, right? Like, you say
Mhm.
you're sorry, and we'll try to work this out, right?" So we recorded the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like I feel great. We did the whole thing. And then I found out like a year later she won a Juno for that album, which is amazing.
Incredible.
The bad news is that they went back to Russia to record the thing again. I'm like, fuck.
That's a huge bummer.
Yeah, but
Still a good
hey, I
story,
mean,
though.
still did it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll take the win.
Yeah, definitely a win. I want to talk about, you wanted to remove the word talent from existence. And I
Yeah.
want to know what you mean by that.
So one of my pet peeves is when parents are generally more guilty of this. They're saying, they're like, "Oh, you're so talented," right? Or you're like, "My kid is so talented. Your kid is more talented than mine," or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as talent. Stop using that word. It's so frustrating. Talent is not a real thing. It's skill and it's practice, and it's something that's developed over many, many grueling hours of doing the same shit over and over again, right? Like I make the example, like, or the comparison, that like no one's born a mathematician, right? Or like an astronomer or whatever. Like these are things that you personally invest in, and you take the time and dedication to practice and refine your skills until you can call yourself whatever you want to be, right?
What do you think about like child prodigies or virtuoso?
I find that most child prodigies, there's one, his name is Ara, and Ara, if you're listening to this, I hate you. He was
Fuck you, kid.
he was unbelievable drummer. This guy should be touring by himself. Like he
Okay.
is that amazing. And I think at the time he was only like 16 or something. And like I asked him, I'm like, how? Right? Like how are you doing these ridiculous things on drums and you're just so young? He's just like, I don't know, lessons. And that's honestly what it is. Like a lot of
Out of the mouth of babes. Jeez.
a lot of kids are put into this at a very, very young age. The
Mhm.
difference is that you have kids like Ara who stuck with it, right?
Yeah.
And me who was thrown into it, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
fuck this. Like right? I hate it, and I I went in a different direction. But when you expose kids to a certain skill, and they take a liking to it, and they establish an emotional connection to it, they want to get better, and they want to learn more, and they want to make this their fun thing, right? Meanwhile, not really fully understanding that this is like an extremely valuable skill that 30 years later is going to potentially be their source of income, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I really
so
wish my parents put me in piano.
yeah,
Really
yeah,
wish that, yeah.
yeah. I often kind of look back and I'm just like, damn, I wish I stuck with piano. But then I'm like,
Mhm.
no, because I hated it at the time, right? It
Yeah.
was a really terrible experience. Uh, not to mention, like, my teacher at the time really enjoyed beating me with a ruler whenever I played a wrong note on the piano.
God.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
damn.
it was great.
Yeah.
And my parents are just like,
I've
"Oh
heard
no,
about a lot
that's
of
fine."
piano teachers who were just like brutal like that.
Yeah. She was awful. She would like beat my hand with a ruler, and she's
Oh, yeah. Tap.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not tap, like pack.
How do you play with your fingers broken?
That's what I'm saying, and I'm just like, hey, this sucks, right? Like,
Yeah.
why do I want to go to like a creepy basement to learn from like this teacher who just wants to beat me, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, like many times I look back and I'm
Uh,
like, nah, I'm happy by not going back.
Yeah.
Neither of you would go and take lessons now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would take I was taking lessons in piano, but with COVID hitting and all that kind of stuff, everything out.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
I would
about
take
you?
lessons again. They're expensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they are expensive. And that's partially why I've always liked the idea of having a music school. Like the idea of making genuine music instruction uh an achievable and approachable thing that everybody can be exposed to, then that sounds amazing to me, right? Like so many kids hate these cheesy like sports things. Not everybody's into sports, not everybody's into like reading clubs and book clubs and things like that. Like, but some people just want to jam, right? And you know they may have reservations because of friends that are like, oh, band nerd or whatever, right? But then when they're behind closed doors, that really tough 6 foot tall kid, like he might be really amazing at the flute, right? and that can change someone's entire future. So I've always liked the idea of making uh, music something that's very achievable, I guess.
All right, so Carlos, we want to play another game with you. It is Would You Rather.
Ooh, nice. All right.
So, did you want to start, Courtney, or should I start?
I thought we were going to pick on Carlos and make him start.
No.
Okay,
no,
yeah,
no,
do
no.
it.
Oh God.
Do it.
Oh dear. Oh, kitty. Oh geez, someone else start. These are rough.
I'm cheating because I found a list and some of them were really disgusting and I was like, I need to use these.
Do it.
So would you rather glug down a full glass of expired chunky milk
Ugh.
or eat an entire bowl of moldy strawberries?
Moldy strawberries.
Really?
Yeah, I think same.
Yeah, moldy strawberries is easy because that chunky texture. No.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd rather like the slime with the powder.
Oh yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I get way
Yeah.
sicker with milk too. I think you get some food poisoning.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong, you're fucked either way, but like
Ugh,
yeah,
gross.
no, I'm happy taking moldy
Okay,
strawberries.
strawberries. Yeah. All right, good to know.
All right. Would you rather have penises on all your fingers or a finger for a penis? Wait, it's your pinky finger.
Pinky finger or pinky dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go with pinky dick because at least I can hide my shame.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
even if I wore gloves, it's still like got a bunch of dicks on my hands, right?
All right, Courtney, would you rather have a vagina mouth or a mouth? Or
I already have vagina mouth. Thank you.
or a vagina with teeth.
Oh, vagina dentatus. Fuck, that's so badass. I gotta do it. Wait, if I pull the teeth out, do they grow back?
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes I could have like a Brazilian, but for teeth
let's
for
say
my
they
vagina.
never pull out. That you can never pull them out.
Oh damn! I was gonna
If you
say
pull them
like,
out, you'll die.
but what if I wanted like a Brazilian type situation, but with the teeth? You know, that's what I'm thinking. Anyway, vagina dentata for sure.
All right, cool. All right, we haven't picked on I guess you have it, Courtney. It's your turn.
Courtney, go already?
Oh, Carlos didn't go.
No, I haven't gone yet.
Go.
I'm gonna pull a lifeline here.
Okay.
Would you rather date the ugliest person in the world or the smelliest person in the world?
Ugliest.
Ugliest.
Damn, that was fast.
Yeah.
I can't,
No,
I can't-
I'm very sensitive to smell.
Yeah.
I
same.
would just vomit all day.
Yeah.
Day. Every time I was
Yeah.
around this person, I
Yeah,
vomit.
but I mean, like, it's like I'm expecting this person's like appearance to be vomitable too, you know? Like, I don't know, like,
yeah, but I'm sure you like on the inside.
No,
can't
there's
you just
something.
put like layers on them and then just like smother the smell? Well, I guess it just kind of like bakes
Yeah.
it. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And like when you left your house, would you still smell like them? Like it's the
ooh,
worst.
yeah, you know what?
Yeah. No,
No.
no.
Definitely would. Have you
Ugh,
ever been on a
true.
bus? I
But
mean,
smelly.
yeah, with a
Yeah.
really
Ugh.
smelly person.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it just like fills the entire bus or subway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like
There was I'm not gonna name names, but this this one girl asked me out, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, right? Like a movie date won't hurt or whatever. So we go, and she was in my program, right? Like it was, I've known this person, or I've seen this person around, but I haven't really like, you know. So she asks me out, which I found really surprising. We go to a movie, I give her a hug, and I'm just like, that was weird. What the whatever. So then she sits beside me in the theater, and her breath was so horrible. It wasn't like, you know, you just had like a some garlic or something. It wasn't that. It was just like something died in there, man. Like there is something wrong here. What the fuck? And it was
usually
so
it's the teeth
strong.
that are like rotting or
The tonsil stones. The tonsil
those two,
stones.
yeah.
Have you ever seen
Oh,
those? They're
no,
fucking
I don't think so.
disgusting,
I don't
and they
think so.
smell like horrible death. Apparently,
Like what? But besides like the obvious description, like what are they? Like are they just like
it's I think it's a
bacteria or
buildup.
something, or-
No, I think it's a buildup of like calcium, food particles, maybe some bacteria, but they get stuck
Ew.
in people's throats.
Yeah.
And like you can find videos, people will film this. They'll go online and they'll like film down their mouth with 2 Q-tips and stick the Q-tips back and like pop the stone out as if
Oh!
yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
great.
no!
I'm sure you'd love it.
Oh, that's gross. Oh my god. Yeah,
Well,
you
not
just
only
kinda,
is
like-
that, but
Now I gotta
the
look that
breath
up.
you get from those tonsil stones is horrific.
Holy
So
shit. This is why I never wanted to be a dentist, man. Like I
Oh
feel
my
bad for
God.
dentists.
Oh, man.
Ugh.
maybe that's why they have one of the highest suicide rates for a profession.
Are you
Very true.
serious?
Yeah, they do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely true. I made the same comment a couple of months ago to a friend, and they didn't believe me. They thought I was crazy. I'm just like, no, look it up.
I don't even know why I know that. I just
My
it's one of those-
psychology professor told me that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks. I did. I feel bad now.
Yeah, now you feel really
I'm like,
guilty
I was
anytime
having
you
a
go to
good
the
day, man.
dentist.
Damn.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Um,
Are you looking up the disgusting stones, Deb?
no, I'm gonna look them up later
Oh,
and
okay.
go and masturbate to it. So we want to know some anecdotes from past shows. Like, have you
Okay.
played with a band that was super, super drunk or
Oh, yeah, every band, but so I think like I try to be as professional as possible, but that doesn't always take.
Mhm.
There was one time I'll say the band. I worked for a band called The Dead Sexy.
Mm.
Great band, great people. It was a good time. And I don't know what got into me over like. So I know I don't remember exactly what happened. So in October, I don't even remember, like 2017, something like that. We had a stupid gigging schedule. We had 12 shows in 1 month. I wanted to kill myself, man. Like, and the only way I could stay coherent was to stay awake, right? Which was just a
Yeah.
combination of like booze and coffee, right?
Mhm.
So I think by like the 5th show, which was like in a span of like 6 days or something, I was just perma drunk, right?
Mm.
and
On a
we were
Oh
bender.
my
we were
god.
playing in Oshawa, of course, and I was so drunk, I almost fell over on the fucking stage. I
Oh
had to
man.
use my bass, which it wasn't even my bass amp, it was some stranger's bass amp. And I'm just like holding on to it for dear life, my shit unplugged and everything, and my band's looking over at me. They're like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Ah, I'm fine." Like,
Oh my god.
oh, it's fucking terrible, man. Like
Uh,
yeah. As composed as I try to be and as professional as I try to be, holy fuck, man, I've made an ass out of myself so many
Uh,
times. There's one time I started I worked for a band called I think this was Dispersia, and I or My Frost, one of them, and we played our very first show. And of course, I'm like, oh yeah, I already know the song, I already know everything, whatever. I pounded a couple of drinks, right? So a couple of drinks turned out to be like 6, and then as soon as I go up, I'm like, I start this song, right? How the fuck does this go again?
oh
I
man.
forgot the whole fucking thing.
oh
And we
no.
had this whole like theatrical thing where they're like, we were facing the drummer, like our backs were to the audience, and I would turn around, I would start my bass line, this very nice like our arpeggiated triad, and then the rest of the band would turn around, and then we would all come in and play the song. I forgot the fucking the chords. And my singer looks over at me like she's gonna fucking like stab me, right?
Oh
Yeah.
And then
no.
I'm just like, muscle memory, don't fail me now.
Right? Yeah, you have to just like rely on that.
Yeah, and luckily it was only like like a semitone off or something. It was
Mm.
still fucked, but it was still we managed to like pull through. I managed to pull through. And at the
Oh
end of
my
that, she comes up
god.
to me and she's like, Carlos, what the fuck was that?
What does it fuck?
She's like, what the fuck was that? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, she's like, no more drinking.
Oh
Mm.
my god. Yeah.
Good times.
I remember like I used to gig with heels, and a lot of the time I would
Oof.
headbang in between
Yeah.
things, and I lost my balance. I thought I was gonna fall right over,
Yeah.
and now I don't wear heels anymore to
Yeah.
gigs.
Yeah.
Flat
Good
shoes
call.
only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could do platforms.
I don't know.
Like it's
could
one
Maybe,
solid.
yeah.
It's like one solid kind of.
Yeah.
block.
Yeah. Maybe it's
That's-
just I don't know. They weren't even that bad of heels. I just yeah, I get dizzy, I guess, like in
But
certain
yeah, when you're
situations.
like fucking,
Yeah,
windmilling and
doing
shit.
like the
Yeah. Like,
windmill. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
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 That's
While you're holding your balance at the
yeah,
Yeah.
same
And
like
while you're
time.
trying to sing too, like it's a fucking mess. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I think it
yeah, I
takes a
don't
lot
blame
of
you.
practice to be able to build up your
High heel,
headbanging.
headbanging,
Yeah.
hybrid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
heel banging.
another time that I made an ass out of myself was even before I went up on stage. So while I was working for the Dead Sexy, there was it was an outdoor festival, right? Like they would take us up to Ottawa, and they would like rent out this plot of land. They would build this gigantic stage up there, and then all the PA systems, et cetera. There was like, I don't even know how many bands, right? The whole thing went on from like 4 in the afternoon to like 6 the next morning, right? It was just like a continuous amount of live bands playing and absolutely obliterating the stage. So while we did our sound check, I was already drunk, and so as we were playing through sound check, we wanted to do a part in the song where we were all choreographed in this like cringy like crab thing pose, right?
Man,
And I completely tore the shit out of my shorts.
oh my god.
like my shorts, it would like tear along the right side, and I'm just like, I really, really wish I brought a spare.
Oh
So
damn.
from 4 in the afternoon to the next day in the evening, I was walking around basically without pants. Like it was fuck,
That's
right?
awesome.
Like
Yeah.
it was
Oh my god.
it was awful, man. And
Holy shit.
I was so unprepared that day. Like we were sleeping in tents, and
Oh,
I was so wasted out of my mind. I'm just like, whatever. Like I'll just fall asleep, right? I'm already drunk enough anyway.
hmm
I go into the tent, and I realize that we didn't bring any like bedding or anything. We brought a sleeping bag, but it wasn't like we didn't bring anything to put under the sleeping bag. So
Oh
not
man.
only do I have no pants, but and no insulation, I am now freezing and drunk. Like,
Oh my god.
I wanted to
That's so
kill
brutal.
myself, man.
Yeah.
You're trying to die of exposure or
I'm just
something.
like, fuck, dude, like this sucks. Like I thought this was gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's
It
the
was awful.
worst. Camping
Oh
when you're
man.
cold. That's the
Oh
worst.
Yeah.
yeah, I am not outdoorsy either, right? And like my girlfriend at the time, she's just like, oh yeah, I'll take care of all the stuff. I'm like, okay, I trust you because you're the nature girl, right? I don't know shit
Mhm.
about this, right? And yeah, we were so fucked. Like I hated it.
Yeah.
It was
Oh
awful.
my god.
Oh my goodness.
What was the name of that festival?
Uh,
Or was it like a private show?
it was Heavy GL. It was called Golden Lakes, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was
Wow.
like a playoff of like Heavy Montreal and Heavy TO when
Yeah.
TO existed. But yeah, it was like in the Ottawa region, and yeah, it was good. Like the whole thing went very, very well, except for everything that happened to me.
Yeah.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Heavy Toronto doesn't exist. And
It
then
did.
Heavy
It hasn't
Yeah.
existed for a long
and
time.
Heavy Montreal now is only every other year
Yeah.
because they're gonna do country music.
I
What?
didn't know about the country
Alternating air.
music. Oh my
Mhm.
god, why?
I don't
There's
know.
a market, but there's a big enough market for country music
in
Yeah, it's
in
less of
Quebec.
in Montreal.
less
Yeah,
for
that's
metal
weird.
for
Really?
sure.
Like that I don't know. I could see it in Ontario or I could see it in Alberta. I
Except
could see
there
it.
they
I can see it
say,
in Alberta, yeah.
"Wee-haw."
Weehaw.
So
En français.
En
je
français.
suis na na na.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I can't imagine that. Like having a whole country festival. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every second year, they'll be alternating with Heavy.
Yeah,
So.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were filming a music video. It was kind of up in the country too. It was in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
And man, that was brutal. We were shooting from like 5 in the morning to about 1 in the morning, and then we'd
Ooh.
have to sleep like in the same hotel room, and then do it all over the next day.
Mm.
And yeah, it's way more brutal than you think it is to film
Yeah.
a video,
Yeah.
especially if you want any kind of like cool dialogue or anything like that.
Yeah, the filming is awful. Like it
Mm.
really is. And there was one. I'm so glad this video wasn't released. So for a band that I used to work for, we wanted to do the single in a warehouse, right? Basically open space, put the drums and nice lights and all that kind of stuff, and then just go ham on it, right? Well, I got way too drunk before the recording, during the recording, and after the recording. So much that I didn't realize when I passed out until I woke up in a stranger's like SUV. I
Oh
have
my
no idea
God.
who the fuck this person is. It's none of like I literally not my guitar, not my bandmates, not anyone, right? And then I'm like, hi, right when I came to, right? He's just like Carlos, right? And I'm like, yeah, who the fuck are you, right? Like where are we going?
What's going on?
And then before he answered, I'm like, stop the car, right? So like he probably thought like I was like so scared I wanted to get out. No, I just wanted to puke. So I opened the car, I was just like, and then I closed the car back up, and I'm like, so where are we going?
At least you didn't do it out the window.
Okay, don't stop
Oh.
now. Where were you going?
Yeah, so where we go? So anyway, like apparently he was the director or the film camera person, right? That was shooting the whole thing, and he's like, yeah, so your guitarist realized that you were fucked beyond belief, and he gave me your address, so we're going to your house. And I'm like, oh, that was nice
wow.
of him.
Yeah.
Did
That's
you
good.
continue on to go home, or were you
Yeah,
like,
sure
oh,
did.
fuck it, I'm going back? No.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, I was so fucking drunk anyway. At that point, I'm just like, yeah, I'll take your word for it, right? Like,
Oh my god.
It was fine.
luckily, nothing bad happened besides like me vomiting my insides. But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I low key want to see that music video.
From what I remember, I did fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word
Maybe
for
we
it.
can. Is it on YouTube? Maybe we can link it.
I don't know. Like I don't talk to any of the members of that band anymore, sadly. So like, sometimes shit goes down and you excommunicate each other. But
Yeah.
yeah, like that it's unfortunate that that video didn't get released.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how.
You paid your dues.
Yeah, my liver paid a heavy price that day.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no. There I'm sure there are like other videos of shit I've done. If anything, just go to my Instagram. You can see like my sober self playing.
Nice.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up soon. Are there any other cool anecdotes you'd like to share?
Besides just like, there's one thing that I'll say. For everyone that listens to just like really intense like symphonic metal or like prog metal or things like that, take the opportunity to go listen to video game music. I'm telling you, like either whether it's Final Fantasy or like, Castlevania or things like that, those soundtracks, they'll change your life. Trust me. Like it's one of the few things that like you're like, damn, I feel that, right? Like or the Dark Souls series or Bloodborne. Oh my God, listen to them all. Literally, listen to all of them, and you'll notice that your Spotify is changing a lot from like Lamb of God to like Nuboa Uematsu and shit like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Good to know. Good to know.
That's crazy.
I have one more little anecdote. Do not take anti-anxiety medication before a show. Because what happens is your vocal cords will become loose alongside being sleepy. I did not realize that, and I decided to take a bunch of anti-anxiety pills before a show because I was kind of nervous. I hadn't played in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, what could go wrong? And I'm like, why is my voice like I can't seem to sing properly? And I was like, it must be the medication.
Oh no.
So don't do that. Just figured I'd add that onto the performance
Holy shit.
anxiety thing.
Yeah,
I forgot about that
God.
time when I was pretty nervous because I hadn't done like a solo folk show in a long time.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah,
Just do anything
desensitization is
except for
better
that.
than drugging yourself.
Yes. Go live stream. Do whatever you need to do to desensitize yourself.
Live stream
Not
is
take any
huge.
anxiety.
Oh man, it's so great. Yeah, doing live streams when you're not fully prepared is a humbling experience.
Yeah. Lots of negative comments or
well, I mean, like it's not even like other people like berating you, it's yourself berating you, and that it's a very powerful feeling, man.
Yeah, when I was live streaming last time when I was trying
That was
to do
fun.
Epica, that was not that.
I liked it. I don't care. I liked it. It was fun. It was very
Oh,
enjoyable, and I liked it. It's been a long time since I heard you sing too, so it was a nice treat.
Yeah, it was fun. I'll definitely start doing that weekly. Yeah. So I just want to take the time to say thank you for being on the podcast, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. This was great.
And for all you listening, please like and subscribe this video to this channel. And please comment on whether you think we're drunk, sober, or high.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or whether you'd rather have a vagina for a mouth or keep your vagina. Either of those. Answer either of those.
I'm curious if anyone else has an opinion on stinky or ugly people. So let us know in the comments. That is really important to me.
These are the things we'd like to know. These are the questions that are plaguing our minds. Yeah.
There you go, you little.
Oh, he's a little guy. He's really cute though.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Awesome.
He's got like blue underneath there.
Under his wing, he has blue and like slight tint of purple. But yeah, he's a very basic bitch bird when it comes to the outer colors. It's just blue and gray. Yeah. But whenever he spreads his wings, you can see like nice shades of blue and purple. Right, Pico?
Oh my God, Deb, we need to make this like a segment. Metalheads and their pets.
Ooh, that'd be
Behold.
cool. Save little clips.
Yeah.
Seriously, that like.
Isn't there like a whole band that has like an Amazon as their vocalist?
What?
Hate Beak.
Hate
Oh my
Beak.
god.
You guys have never seen that? Oh fuck.
Yes, I
gotta see-
have.
Yeah, it's awful.
It took me a moment.
Oh no, it's not an Amazon, it's an African Grey.
Yeah.
They have an African Grey as their vocalist.
Have you seen that video of the "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor" parrot?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I get tagged in it like multiple times a year. It's great.
Like, have you seen this? Yes, it's been out since 2008.
Oh, he's so pretty.
Hey, so cute. Wow.
What a pretty bird.
Yeah.
So pretty.
He's a
Does he
dick
talk?
though.
Does he talk?
He talks a lot, but I've compared him to the frog from Looney Tunes that he'll be like, "Hello, my baby," and he'll
Hello,
like,
my darling. Hello,
yeah,
my
like-
ragtime girl.
and as soon as the curtain opens or the camera turns on, he's like,
Right.
"That's this guy." Like,
Aw,
It's so
camera
funny.
shy.
what the hell was that? Did you just throw something at me?
We'll have
think
to
he-
check the tapes.
I think he threw something at me. But yeah, so like I don't know. Whenever people are over, like he won't. He has no interest. He's like, I will sit quietly and I'll watch, but yeah, he won't say much. When we're alone, he'll talk for hours and he won't shut up. But yeah,
Courtney, is your kitty there?
No, but I could call him.
We could all end the podcast
Jake!
holding our animals.
kitty,
Jake!
come here, kitty.
Kitty, kitty. Come be on camera, Jake. Cheeky boo. I think I'm SOL.
Oh, unfortunately.
Oh, this is my kitty.
Oh,
Oh, he's
my
very cute.
kitty.
look, Piccolo, the enemy.
He hates being held so much. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh, okay. He's like, I'm not your monkey.
Yeah, we might have to do like a Metalheads and Pets segment because
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely done with that.
Yay.
All right, signing off for real.
Beauty.
Thanks everybody for listening. I just wanted to remind everyone to like and subscribe and to comment on whether you think we're drunk, high, or sober. I want to thank guest Carlos Gonzalez-Lopez for being such a great guest and all of you for listening. So remember to like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. If you are on iTunes or Spotify, we will read them out as they come in and give you a little shout out. We will also give you a shout out if you're correct in guessing whether we're sober, drunk, or high. So see you next week.